What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and this was a requested video from someone. I was supposed to do it a while ago, sort of fell behind, forgot about it, but we are here. He reminded me, I'm back, and we're going to do it. And I think it's a great request from him because these are two handguns that are very competitive in many areas, price-wise, function-wise, reliability-wise, and they both have a lot in common. So today we're going to talk about that, but before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Both firearms are safety checked and cleared. And we're going to talk about mags, so give me a second. As you can see, this right here is a PSA Dagger, a 15+1 Glock 19 clone polymer striker-fired handgun with a 4-inch barrel. This right here is the budget-friendly Taurus G3C, a 12+1 setup. It comes with 3 12-round mags, a little bit bigger than Glock 26, but I would consider this more a sub-compact because of barrel length and stuff like that. Let's get into it. PSA Dagger. I have 2 of them. This one right here was $289. Comes with a stainless steel guide rod. Like I said, 4-inch Glock 19 barrel. This one came with a pretty decent finish on it. It's not the best stainless steel finish in the world, but it'll work for me just fine. Sights, just 3-dot metal sights. As you can see, that rear sight does have some texturing in it, as you can see. So a pretty decent overall sight picture, but as you can see, they do not glow. There is no tritium. They're just white paint. Comes with a rail. Takes down like a Glock, as it is a Glock clone. Has this weird trigger guard shape. I get why they do it, because they can't copy Glock completely. But you will notice that hinge trigger. The hinge trigger is not the best. I don't like them the most on my Smith & Wessons versus the new trigger, but I actually carry a hinge trigger on my Shield 40 and 357 SIG all the time and have no issues with it. It's just a different style of trigger with a different style of safety on it. That's about it. But it is a little bit more spongy than my Glock triggers on average. Like compared to the direct Glock 19 Gen 3 that I own, trigger is a little spongier, but it's still a very shootable trigger. Whatever they did, it allows you to hold that handgun steady and not move it at all when you are pulling that trigger with ease. Texturing, it's okay, it's there. The ergonomics feel really good, like the way this part fits that top finger, and then these two, you just figure it out with those bottom fingers. I can get basically 3-finger contact on the whole thing. They have these cutouts in the frame to allow a nasty malfunction to just rip out that mag if you have to, if that thing will not eject by itself while using the mag catch. But like I said, that texturing is just, it's not really there. It's there, but it's not. You know what I mean? It looks like it's there, but it's slippery. But it's still doable. Throw some grips on it, $20 upgrade. Nothing that's a big deal. You know, if it was something else that costs a couple $100 to fix, that's an issue. But in this case, it's not. And I got it without an optic because I'm not the biggest fan of optics. I use them, but I carry a lot of handguns without them. I don't really have a problem using irons, and plus I do a lot of point and shoot exercises, a lot of training up close and personal, a lot of shooting from the hip, the chest, the chicken wing, all sorts of stuff. All situations where you'll never use an optic. But yeah, like I said, it has a rail, and other than that, it's just a good shooter, just a good handgun. And I really tell people, everyone should own a Glock 19 or a form of a Glock 19, even if it is a budget clone, because parts compatibility. You have the most part kits in the whole entire world are for the Glock 19. The most barrels produced are for the Glock 19. The most magazines ever produced are for the Glock 19 and larger, so Glock 17 mags, Glock 18 mags, whatever the case may be. So if you have something that can run all that stuff, that is huge if crap ever hits the fan, or just allowing yourself to have a long-lasting handgun where you just swap out parts every now and then. So absolute solid option for under $300. I think, like I said, $289 maybe, something like that. Both of these aren't optics ready because I got the G3C when it first came out. So this is one of my G3Cs. I have 2. This is my newer one. 0 holster time. 0 holster time. That's crazy. 0 holster time. And I get it. Sometimes when I'm reviewing, it bumps into a handgun and stuff, but 0 holster time on this handgun. That is my only negative thing about the Taurus G3C. And that's not a big deal. Because this right here is probably going to be around $250. And there's a lot of great things that come with it. And oh yeah, for the Dagger, they come with P mags. They come with Magpul mags. Always run Glock mags. So that will be a little price increase to get the Dagger, to get OEM mags, but trust me, it is well worth it every time. And like I said, this is more in size comparison with a Glock 19, being a compact, getting your full hand on the gun, and having that 4-inch barrel. Whereas this right here is closer to a subcompact. It's a little taller than your average subcompact. You can get, 2.5, 3 fingers on it really well. Shorter barrel, that whole sort of thing. This does come with a rail, which is really nice, but it also comes with these awesome memory pads. Now, they aren't textured. I wish Taurus would have textured them a little bit, but with your thumb in there and your finger keeping off the trigger, you can actually fight a little bit of recoil. You can even take a piece of grip, throw it in there to give yourself some texturing, because those are deep memory pads. Very nice. Like I said, the finish, not very good, but as long as the insides are good, that's what matters to me. Clean your handgun, it'll be just fine. The barrel finish isn't that great as well, but does not bother me at all. Uses a nice, decent guide rod, very similar to a Glock 26 guide rod. Good serrations, have a little bit of forward serrations that are usable, 100%. Takes down like a Glock, takes Glock pattern sights. You can literally put any sights you could ever want on both these handguns. They have unlimited sight options. The Dagger also has unlimited holster options. Same with the G3C. You can basically find holster options from every major manufacturer out there, even many smaller manufacturers. Now, of course, the Dagger did not come with a manual safety. This Taurus did, but it's a very stiff safety. If you don't touch it, nothing's going to happen. As far as texturing goes, it is on point. I really do like the texturing on this Taurus. As you can see, it's pretty aggressive, but only in certain spots. So it allows for a really good purchase on the handgun. I'm not going to lie. The handgun actually is a really nice feeling gun. Pretty good ergonomics, pretty solid. Not much of a slide rattle. Not much of a slide rattle on the Dagger. There's a little bit more, but the Taurus, pretty locked in. Like I said, they are unloaded. And the Taurus G3C comes with 3 12-round mags that all look like this. And it does take the big brother mags. So you can get 15-round mags, 17-round mags, that whole sort of thing. Just like the Dagger can take all the larger Glock mags, this can take all the larger Taurus G3C mags and stuff like that. But we'll go ahead and look at triggers. Actually, if you have bad hands, this is a handgun I definitely recommend, as it's very easy to rack. Now, is it butter on glass like a Walther? No, it's not. But it's very simple, very easy to use. Now, as far as trigger pull, it's a decent shaped trigger. As you can see, it's like more like a Glock shaped trigger, but that dingus sticks out a little bit more. As you can see, trigger safety works. Stops you right there. First trigger pull is a lot, but it's very light. There's nothing stopping you from pressing that until you hit that wall. Then it's pretty crisp. Reset. A little bit longer of a reset, but not a bad trigger at all. Leaves a decent amount of room for a glove finger. And for $250, this is probably one of the best handguns you can get. I do like the Stoeger STR9 subcompact better, but this is an awesome option. The Dagger now, this is the Dagger trigger. See that sponge? The sponge starts there. See that? And it keeps going, break. Reset. It's pretty decent. Good kick out, good power, good pressure. Let's do that first trigger pull though. Look at that. See how I'm just messing with it, and you can feel all that sponginess. You can see through there, that trigger bar, the connector, all that. So you can always clean that up with a couple things. You can drop in a new Glock trigger, throw in a new connector, whatever the case may be. You can definitely fix that. But at that point, with the Glock mags and the trigger and all this stuff, you're getting up towards the price of a Glock or something a little cheaper than a Glock, Smith & Wesson, whatever the case may be. But 2 awesome budget options. 2 budget options that never gave me a single issue, not a single problem. And I actually used to talk down on Taurus a little bit. Nothing against people's preferences, but I didn't trust them. But I've put so many rounds through my GX4 and my G3Cs and my TX22 without hiccups. It just makes me wonder, are these good, reliable handguns just made at a good price or what? And they tend to be. The one thing I will say, though, is I got to be honest with you guys. Speaking to my local gun store and range, Taurus is their most returned handgun. Now, because of their price, are more people buying Tauruses and stuff like that? I would say probably not. More people are going with SIG and Glock and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, the fact that these are the most returned does make me nervous. But what the guy did say is they have some that are rentals and they go crazy. They tens of thousands of rounds, not a single issue. They'll have other rentals that get beat on a little bit and have some issues. So all depends. Test your handgun. Maintain your handgun. Make sure everything's in working order. Inspect your handgun. If something looks a little off, call up the company. Say, hey, you mind if I send this in to you guys just to make sure this is good, or this part isn't a little, ruined or dented or corroded, whatever the case may be. Send it in. Preventative maintenance is always better on a handgun. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.